So let's talk about Jim Acosta, the ousted CNN anchor. I think he was fired, right? I'm pretty sure he was fired.
Yes, I believe so.
He sat down and he did an interview with an AI version of a victim of the Parkland shooting about gun violence on his independent show. So let me just get this straight. So instead of having a real live human guest on, he had an AI version of someone who had been killed during the Parkland shooting. Watch.
Joaquin, I would like to know what your solution would be for gun violence.
Great question. I believe in a mix of stronger gun control laws, mental health support, and community engagement. We need to create safe spaces for conversations and connections, making sure everyone feels seen and heard. It's about building a culture of kindness and understanding. What do you think about that?
I think that's a great idea, Joaquin.
Okay. Now, let me just explain. The deceased in this interview here is Joaquin Oliver. His AI avatar was created by his parents and authorized for Acosta to do this interview. Now, I can understand why grieving parents would want to do this. I cannot understand why a principled journalist would. Feels like a perverse manipulation, exactly the kind of journalism we were warned in journalism school not to do. And I just want to ask you, who is this for, do you think? What members of the audience say, oh, this is what this person who died of gun violence would think? What do we know about what you learn in the afterlife, about the lessons of global politics? That's what they're asking you, is that what this person learned through death. And they are communicating back, but the AI can only scrape the experience of this person's life. It's more than an ethical compromise. It is a manipulation of grief, because we're all collectively sad that this teenager was shot. And now his avatar is coming back to haunt us and tell us something manipulative, no matter what he says. Now, I studied media theory intensively in school. Herbert Gans, who just died this year, has to be rolling in his grave, because what he taught journalism schools for decades was that cultural values shape the stories we cover, and how we cover them and what we choose to include can tell a story, and what we choose to exclude also tells a story, and we need to constantly be mindful of that. What we leave out and what we put in, it's not neutral, our choices. So to choose something that's fake, that's admittedly fake, not only so that it's unethical, right? But where do we go from here? Now, Acosta,
what do you mean? Like, where do we go from here in terms of journalism?
Yes. Now, Acosta is not a network journalist. He's an independent now. He's free to do whatever the heck he wants. He's telling us that this is fake. But what can be built on having crossed this line now?
WSB in our chat, WS84 in our Rumble chat says, Natalie, did you just suggest that Acosta is a respected journalist?
No.
No. And Ozim says Jim Acosta is the champion gaslighter. Nicker says even the Blue Sky Echo Chamber ripped Acosta for this. I mean, to me, this is like more performance art than anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, I guess, maybe performance art mixed with propaganda, because you're putting together, you're using his likeness to push a message, to push an agenda. Like that's propaganda, right? I mean, you're literally using this guy's AI avatar to push a propagandic message.
I suppose. I mean, propaganda is a neutral term. Propaganda can be true, right?
Well, yeah.
So what he's doing, yes, is to push what he wants as gun control through weaponized grief. Is the only way to see it. Like, we're supposed to see this person, know that he's dead, somehow suspend belief that his lived experiences can be captured in this avatar and speak in a way that should have more meaning than, say, if you and I speak about gun violence.
Well, and who's manipulating, like, the emotional resonance of this AI? Like,
right.
If he speaks with a certain sort of emotional fervor, like, who's pushing the buttons on? Who's to say, like, if he starts tearing up about his experience and all of that, like, again, sort of the emotional resonance of AI, who's pushing the buttons on that? If he was just sort of in a monotone voice, would that be any more powerful or less powerful? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, if it starts to cry, obviously it's asking you to sympathize with somebody who no longer exists. And that feels very manipulative. So, I mean, I don't think that this is something that journalists should ever have done. And I think anybody who cares about the profession would condemn it. Obviously, it was condemned ad nauseum because he turned the comments off, probably because, well, I didn't check Blue Sky, but they're saying that Blue Sky.
Well, I don't use Blue Sky. Yeah, don't use Blue Sky at all. But if the comments are turned off, then what is this saying? He
knows it's odious.
He knew ahead of time then that this would, if he turned the comments off when publishing this, then he knew that this was problematic from the beginning, right? I mean, he knew what he was walking into with this BS.
Yeah, I just want to know who he thinks would be manipulated by this. Because anybody who would already agrees with him on gun control, I'm sure, right? So is there anyone who's like, oh, well, this dead avatar really changed my mind on this?